March 13th, 2022 is the day I released a video called Thomas Roblox Games. This video was made out of obligation and was put together rather quickly. This was back when I was transitioning from making a video like every week to one every 2 weeks-ish to 1 month, and it was really pretty bad by my standards. This video did really well surprisingly, so I made another video that was a whole lot better than that, and now there are 4 of these in total. 5 of these now since this one's out. I've enjoyed all these new Thomas Roblox Games videos so much more than the first one, and looking back at the first one, I see it has a lot of missed potential. I figure since those games I covered the first video have gotten different updates over time, and also just the other games I've covered in previous Thomas Roblox Games videos have also improved and gotten updates later on, so why not dedicate a whole entire video to games I have talked about before, but again. By the way, this is your first video you're seeing of this whole series. You don't have to watch these in any sort of order. You can watch them in any order you want. This video, I'm gonna do a proper way to rank these because before I'm just like, oh, it's meh, it's great, it's blah, you know, like just trash stuff overall. So I'm gonna have a tier list for these. And just to keep in mind, these tier lists don't go in any sort of order, so it's just gonna be like, hey, this one game's at S tier, and I put it like in front of the other one. It doesn't mean that one's better than that game, it just means that they're all S tier, they're all A tier, you know, that sort of stuff. And before that, let me just do some little bit of advertising. Sodor Comic Land, I need people who can animate in Roblox Studio, so if you know how to do that, or anybody who can, please contact me on Discord right here. So with that all the way, let's re-review some games. I'm gonna get this one right out of the way. Every time I make a Roblox video and it doesn't have this game in it, or Sodor Online, people flip out, so I might as well talk about Blue Train and Friends. I've had an interesting history with this game. I loved classic Blue Train and Friends, then when they changed it, I wasn't a huge fan of the map. But then 6 months later, I actually loved the game, so it's the best Thomas Roblox game out there. Going into the game now, it has a very cozy hub, and I love this place. You can see the engines, it's overall nice looking, and I'm really a big fan still. The game has improved massively since I last played it. The scenery is so nice. It feels like wherever you go, it has a ton of care put into it. Before, it felt so big and empty. Now it feels really nice and not too cluttered. I'm still not a big fan about how the buildings look, and I probably won't ever be a fan of how the buildings look now I'm thinking about it. I don't know, they just feel like they didn't have the same care the engines put into it. And, I mean, that's fine, it's just something that personally bothers me. Engine models themselves are really nice. The color changes are a little bright for my liking, but they have gotten a whole lot better from what they used to be. But let's not ignore the amount of care that the engines have here. They just all look so nice, even if I think the colors are just a little off. They have like basically every character you would ever want in the game, except for Porter. I think he'll probably be in the game eventually. Go make it a big deal, guys. Go ask for Porter, Blue Train and Friends, purely for my sake. They added some GUI in the game, and it's also really well made. The skyboxes are cool, and the customability is overall really nice to have. If you ever wonder why this game has a ton of remakes in it, or fan series made in Blue Train and Friends, it's because this game has everything you would ever need for a remake. Now, I'm not a remake guy. Like, I've had some friends that have made remakes before that I've helped out with, but I just don't think they're the most creative thing out there. But it is truly amazing how much stuff you can recreate in this game. As for negatives, there isn't a whole lot I have, but I think there needs to be an option to remove people if you don't want them from like stations and stuff. They should also bring back the Shift C camera, which is a free roaming camera that is extremely helpful and nice to have. At least I think they had it, maybe they didn't? I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure they did. Also, some textures aren't unioned, so they glitch out a lot, and it just looks weird. But that's all I really have. It's just minor stuff that isn't a big deal but could make the game even better. Overall, Blue Train and Friends is probably one of the best Thomas Roblox games out there right now, but not really my favorite anymore. S tier. Tomy Testing Grounds. I originally talked about this in my first video and I really did not do it justice. I just thought I should include this because it was popular and it was my friend's game, and now it's time to properly review this besides just saying, hey guys, the game's pretty good, that's it, next game. So Tomy Testing Grounds has 3 versions. We have Tomy Testing Grounds Classic, which feels more like a giant Tomy layout and is my preferred way to play the game. Then we have Tomy Testing Grounds Legacy, which is based off the first map of the game that does not work at the moment, so I won't be talking about it. And then we have Tomy Testing Grounds Reloaded, which is a really neat game with its map being the main reason why I actually don't play it. It's really good, and it's well done, but the classic map is just my thing. The engines in this game are really nice. You can hold E to get in the engines, which is really nice for row scale games, where you get to slide all over the place on the ground, so that way you don't have to jump in them. Reloaded is a more polished experience overall, with the couplers looking better, and just the engine models looking better, and it's also just nicer, but I just prefer the one with the fun little cute map. Now for Tomy Testing Grounds Classic, it doesn't have the E to drive the engines, and it's not as polished, but this map is just the best. We got this nice map with some standout pieces being the clay pits and the Thomas Station area. I really love this Thomas Station area. It feels like the centerpiece of this area. There are also a ton of characters close to it, making it more appealing to go to. Exploring this map is a ton of fun too. It's not too big, but not small either. It's a really nice size. I like the amount of characters in this game. I also like this funny looking Oliver, which, just to let everyone know, this is a custom Oliver that my friend Luke made because he only had the shell of a Tomy Oliver, and oof, it looks really trash here giving it a body. But it's really funny looking, especially as a playable character. With Tomy Testing Grounds, I honestly can't think of anything I really dislike about it. It's a really well made game, and I play it and just enjoy it. I wish I could think of some negatives, so that way people would be able to understand like what to expect from the game, but it's just overall a really good game. I recommend you play it. A tier. When I first played this game, it really surprised me. Now this is not a Thomas game, but it is what you expect from a Thomas Roblox game. Now I want to let everyone know, Freeham has ended. It's a complete game now, so what you have here in the game is what you're going to get. Since I last played this game, there is now some cool GUI. We get a look at a map, which is nice, and the update log, which is pretty cool. The stuff this game does is just done so well. We get the engine models, the beautiful scenery, the great controls, and the lighting, which still makes the game so enjoyable to me. I love the lighting. I love the way this game looks. I was looking back in the original review and I was thinking, maybe I was just biased, but no, it was just that good. Probably the biggest news thing since I've last played this game is the map. And also this really cool area with so many buildings on the ground just makes me feel so up high, and I just want to point it out because it's amazing. More stuff like this location here has been added to the map. It's all really nice, and I really like how it was all done. We even got some new characters with those locations, and they are pretty cool. By the way, I've talked to one of the creators for this game, and there is going to be a new game that is basically Freeham, but realistic. It's going to be like how real-life railways are, and I recommend joining Freeham's Discord server to keep up the progress for the new game. I honestly cannot think of a single complaint for this game, so it's a definite S tier. Skrunkly Sodor. I said it right this time. This game, the last time I talked about it, it went from being this to a take-and-play style game. Well, it's not a take-and-play style game anymore. It's just the track that's take-and-play. And I'm told by the creator of the game, Very Gage, that this was because that the take-and-play style didn't feel Skrunkly enough. Which is fair. This game's map has been expanded on a whole lot since I last played it. There isn't like a whole ton of new locations that I can really remember from the map being expanded, but all of the new locations you can definitely tell, like this docks area used to just be Cranky. Now it's an actual proper area, which looks really cool. And it's just more stuff to go around and do. It's actually pretty nice. For the style, I actually think it's pretty neat. We got the buildings that are like this golden bear looking style. The engines are smooth plastic and are very simplistic, which I think works for this game because this game is not going for realism or even a slightly detailed style. Probably the engine that this game did do dirty is Porter. Why is he gray? You realize Porter has color, right? Who made this? Did they look at a black and white image of Porter? Are they colorblind? I mean, they are colorblind. That's completely understandable. But why wouldn't someone else help them out? Speaking of the map again, it's fun to go around, but it can also feel kinda boring. You just go around the map, and the only thing that's there for scenery are these trees, and they look like they're a part of some sort of team, and at any second, they'll come to life and try to hurt me. An easy fix for this would be to move some trees around where they aren't a perfect square. This game has a huge problem with derailments though. Like, it is so common. I just wish there was an easier way to stay on the rails without going incredibly slow. Probably the biggest appeal for this game is that it has a no gravity mechanic. You can go upside down. You also can go to this little like playground area that I find to be really fun, and there is no tracks here besides when you go in like the tubes and stuff, but it's just really cool. I honestly really enjoy this game without the tracks. With the tracks, it's just kinda eh. Skrunkly Sodor is going to have a rebooted game, and it's gonna be actually kind of cool. It's gonna be a huge improvement from what I've seen on this game, and this game, it has like a good amount of a start to become even better. So for what it is, I'd recommend you go join the Skrunkly Sodor Discord server in the description below if you want to hear news about the reboot. Overall, Skrunkly Sodor gets a C tier. Tomy Island. The main reason I covered this game was because I feel like this game could have had a ton of potential once it was improved. And it still hasn't gotten there, honestly. Henry and Edward are just flat out not working at spawn, which makes the closest place to get an engine at first have a really bad first impression. The weird out of place memes are still there, but I actually don't have problems with those anymore. Now, there has been some improvements, like with the Oigawa Thomas, that actually controls really well, and this part of the map is a really nice area. Since I got to talk to the creator of Tomy Island, they said that the game is on hiatus to work on their modeling skills, so maybe one day this game could be better, but that day is not today. So for right now, Tomy Island gets a D tier. I love this game. I will admit that when I first covered it, there wasn't too much to do in the game compared to like ThomToys Land, but now, well, still not having as much as ThomToys Land is a great amount. Everything looks so good! I love the style, and basically everywhere we go, it's all detailed and just looks so nice. The engines and buildings also look really nice as well. I still love the clouds, how they're like this. They're just so cool. They did remove the day and night cycle, which I understand why, because a lot of people did not like that, so now we can set the time to any part of the day. But, I mean, I really liked that. It was such a good day and night cycle. It's really hard not to like ThomToys World, or at least just appreciate what it's going for. There's just so much to like and enjoy, especially now since there's more of it. This game is really well made, but there are just some things that would be nice to change, but they don't necessarily need to be fixed. A really annoying thing is that when I'll be walking around and then I'd fall through the map and they just can't get out. There aren't any teleporters yet, or if there are, I just don't know where to get them, so I just had to reset. So if it could be made easier to get out of those spots, that would be really nice, or just teleporters. Also, automatic points would also be nice, because if you're going at runaway speed and then hit one point, you're just done. Your whole train is gone, and so is your engine. Like, you just gotta, like, cry in a corner and then go do it again. Like, yeah, this could be fixed by me just setting the points, but sometimes you just forget one point, so it just ruins it all. But oh well, it doesn't really need to be fixed, and I know some people prefer non-automatic points so that way they don't randomly switch if someone accidentally happens to so by stare at it. That's it for my complaints though. I really like this game, and I just only want to see it get better from now on. A tier. Okay, I'll admit, I'm cheating with this one. I never reviewed my own game before, but I did advertise it. So, I thought that since this game has ended, I might as well take a look at the game. Looking at this game with the perspective as a brand new player to Sodor magazine locations, it is your average Thomas Roblox game. Its main appeal is having obscure Thomas characters and locations that other games don't have in this game. Like, who is this freaking gray tank engine? Or the counting time engines? Or 13? Some of these characters might have had their first 3D model ever, even. I mean, keyword some and maybe, because I don't know. The game with the models has some really weird consistency. Like, you can definitely tell what models got upgrades later on and then what models did not, because all the models don't have any sort of art style, which makes the game feel kind of ugly and weird. Like, most characters don't have couplings, but then some do. Like, probably the best model in the game, I would say, is Edward's Steam friend. It's decently detailed and looks really nice. But then you have Salty, and you see the huge quality difference here. It's just so off. The game also has a fair amount of glitches, especially when it first released, but most of these have been fixed, and the ones remaining in the game, while annoying and really should be fixed, it's more of just like, not all engines being strong enough to pull rolling stock will be your biggest problem. The world for this game feels really uninspired. It's all just grass and flat, with no hills, and the areas that aren't grass are really small and feel really off because all the other places are just grass with very minimum detail. Now that's what I think of the game, with no sort of attachments and totally ignoring the fact that I worked on this game for an entire year. I completely understand why people do not like this game. I'm like 99% hoping that Sodor Comic Land will be a better game than this, and I will be taking some inspiration from this game and the magazines, and putting some of the stuff that I've learned from Sodor magazine locations into this new game, but overall, Sodor magazine locations gets a D tier. Well, that is it for Thomas Roblox Games Revisited. I hope you enjoyed a look back at this stuff. I really did, and I don't know if there'll be a Roblox Game 6 anytime soon because, like, the only game I have to cover is like Sodor Online that people actually want me to talk about. So if you have any like games I haven't talked about yet, then let me know, because the next one I should not be revisiting that because, well, that's what this video is for. Well, that's it. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye!